Welcome to the Think Factory podcast. We got one question for you. What keeps you up at night?
Hello and welcome to the Women's Roundtable podcast powered by the Think Factory, where we learn how women think big and grow their business. My name is Susan Kleiner. I'm a partner with Outside General Counsel Solutions, and I'm the host of today's episode. I'm happy to have with me here today Dr. Sandy Gibson. She's got her PhD, LCSW, and LCADC, and she's a professor with the College of New Jersey. She received her master's and PhD in social work from the University of Maryland with a specialization in addictions. She worked as an addiction counselor for 6 years, and then she completed her PhD in social work and became a study director at a research institute at Temple University for 7 years. And that's where she developed and evaluated addiction prevention and treatment programming. In 2010, she became faculty at TCNJ, and she does a lot of great work there, which we're going to hear more about. She also recently finished a study exploring how the use of Narcan to save someone's life or have one's own life saved affects drug use behavior change in the future. And she's actively working to promote harm reduction and a shift from criminal justice to public health, to a public health-based approach to drug use in New Jersey, including a push for the full decriminalization of drugs. So I want to welcome Dr. Sandy Gibson to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I think that, based on your bio alone, we could talk for hours about all of the work that you've done and the work that you're doing and your enthusiasm for the field of social work. But one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and I actually met you at the NJAMA conference because you were tabling about a new program at TCNJ for clinical mental health counseling to get a master's degree. I think this is a fabulous program. I think it checks a lot of boxes in terms of issues that we have in the mental health field here in New Jersey and elsewhere. And I really would love it if you could explain a little bit more to our listeners, maybe some of whom may even know somebody that would be a great candidate for this program.
Sure. So getting a master's in counseling is usually, if you're going full-time, a 2 to 3 year process. If it's 2 years, it's 2 years, spring, summer, winter, fall, the whole thing. So most people do it in about 3 years. And that means you have to take another 3 years after you graduate from your bachelor's. So now you're talking 7 years of not being in the workforce, 7 years of debt accrual, paying for tuition. And so it's very time consuming and it's very expensive. And one of the challenges is it's not a very lucrative job to have once you finish. So you have to put this enormous financial investment into securing the degree that's required to do the work. And then you get a job that pays you very little and you have all of this debt now that you've accrued in order to achieve this level of degree in your life. So as a result of that, the counseling profession is overwhelmingly white. And we have a lot of what are referred to as mental health HPSA communities. It stands for Health Professional Shortage Areas. So we have lots of communities where we have basically mental health deserts, where people don't have access to care, not near where they live. And that creates a lot of challenges in a community. And most of our mental health HPSA communities are located in Black and brown communities. So there's an inequity of access to the education, and there's an inequity in terms of access to good quality mental health care in your community. And so our program is designed to, we have a target population we're working for. So anybody can apply to our program, but our mission and what we're trying to accomplish is to partner with mental health agencies, services, hospitals, people who have a behavioral health component to their operation, and to support people in non-clinical staff, behaviorists, case managers, peer recovery specialists, health navigators, to help those individuals secure their master's degree in clinical mental health counseling while they're working. So instead, we're upending the academic calendar entirely. So it's just very different than anything you've seen before. We're going to have 3 terms a year. We go all year long. There's no summer break. There's no spring break. We are working folks who want to get done. We want to finish the degree so that we can take the new job and have the higher income and start building towards our clinical license. So we're not dragging this out for years and years and years. So we have 3 terms a year, but every term has an A and B session. So instead of taking 4 courses all fall and having 4 courses to go to every week and 4 sets of homeworks and tests and papers, we do 2 7-week sessions so that you have 2 classes and then another 2 classes. So during the entirety of this program, you will never take more than 2 classes at the same time, but you'll still be able to secure this entire degree in 2 years. We have wonderful grants, one from the Tepper Foundation, one from Accelerate the Future Foundation, that have allowed us to reduce the cost of this degree from the traditional 54, or online is 41. But if you work currently in a mental health HPSA community, it's 31. Or if you graduated from an HBCU, it's 31, because our goal is to bring more BIPOC counselors into the field, because research also shows that individuals appreciate having someone who shares their lived expertise when they're seeking a counseling relationship. So we want to try to build access to BIPOC counselors in the field.
Wow, that's amazing. And so right now, based on the prices that you're talking about, it's maybe half price. And I know you close to half price.
It's going to get there. I'm working on it. I'm writing more grants. My dream is free.
I love that. Your dream is free. And so what happens if you're somebody, maybe you're working already in the field, maybe you are a couple credits shy even of getting your bachelor's degree. I mean, could somebody like that maybe give you a call, talk to you, and figure out, hey, what's my path? How can I finish my degree? How can I get to having this master's degree? Can you work with somebody like that?
100%. I actually have a working relationship, and we're building an articulation agreement right now with Thomas Edison State University, which is another New Jersey institution that can help people finish that bachelor's degree. So that's sort of their core mission, to help people get across that bachelor's degree line. So anyone who's just a few classes shy of that BA can work with them, get across the line, and come on over.
That's fantastic. And so this is brand new, right? It's starting in September.
Starts this fall, yeah.
And you already have your first class. Is it underway? How many students do you have so far?
We have right now, I believe, 57 applicants applying for 36 spots for the fall. So, and we have an open house with over 50 people scheduled to come tomorrow, and we have 2 more open houses on Thursday. So it's not an issue in terms of filling the seats in the program. People are very excited about this opportunity. We are looking forward to growing in the spring, growing again in the summer, growing again in the fall. So we plan on growing 6 consecutive semesters.
Right. Now, also, if you're a person that's working at an agency, or maybe you're management or director level in agency, I imagine that it may also be helpful for them to talk to you, because maybe there's something that they want to offer. Maybe people stay in, they help out with tuition, and then maybe they continue working in that agency for some period of time.
I would love my program to operate only through that kind of pathway. So we are really trying to connect with agencies. I would love to talk to anybody who is involved with the operations of an agency in terms of doing this. And we have several partners already that we're very excited about. Because by having this, the agencies have a workforce pipeline problem. So the solution for them is they can recruit people graduating with their bachelor's, come work for us in one of our paraprofessional roles within the agency. A lot of students are thinking, I want to go from my bachelor's to my master's. You can still do that. Even if you just went from bachelor's to master's and did nothing else, it would still, at a minimum, take you 2 years. But through our program, you would work that whole time, have salary that whole time, plus still finish that degree in 2 years. We're trying to get these agencies to support people in 2 different ways. One, allow them to take their courses during the workday. It's 2 classes a week, and each one is 90 minutes of synchronous time. So that's 3 hours a week that they would need to attend class. We are going to have classes in the evenings for people whose agencies can't give them work time to do this, but what an incentive for individuals to be able to take these classes during their workday. In exchange, agencies are saying once you graduate, you will continue to work with us for a minimum of 2 years, because we gave you that time to take the classes during these 2 years that you were in the program. So you can create this agreement with them that you now have people moving on into those counseling roles, and they don't have to worry about backfilling those paraprofessional roles because they're recruiting into that. I have students emailing me who found out about this already, who graduate next spring, and they want to know what agencies are participating because they want to apply for jobs there. So students are going to come for your paraprofessional jobs like nobody's business, because that means I still get my master's in 2 years, but I'm also working, I'm also making money, I'm also getting experience, plus I have this degree, and I'm going to be paid for my practicum and internship, which students almost never paid for the practicum and internship, but because it's a part of their workforce development, they're just pivoting over into that counseling role within the agency, the job they're going to keep once they graduate, and they just continue on with that space, and they're able to backfill that by new people coming in, and they will no longer have challenges filling these paraprofessional roles or their counseling roles, because the graduates are going to move right into that. It's very common for people, once they get that independent license, which is usually about 3 years post-master's, if you're working full-time and getting your supervision, to then move on, do private practice, go to the next agency where you can make more money with that independent license. But if you build this pipeline, you will always be able to backfill each one of those positions because there will always be people coming up behind them. It's a wonderful solution.
It sounds like it. And it's also helpful in terms of retention. I've got to believe that investing in your employees like this will make a really big difference in the culture of the workplace, and also help out with retention, which I know is a real issue, especially in the mental health fields.
Especially in our highest need communities, which are HPSA communities, because individuals who have those jobs there as paraprofessionals very likely live there. If they live there, they have roots there, they have families, friends, connections. They're much more likely to stay there when they get that degree versus hiring people as an associate licensed person who aren't from there, who will work until they get their license and then leave and go back to where they're from. So by training people who live and work in that community, they're significantly more likely to stay there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but this is all new for you, right? Like this, before this year, I mean, you're a researcher, you're a professor, but now you're starting this new program, right?
Yeah.
Which is really got to be pretty exciting for you personally.
So exciting.
Right. And also exciting for all these other people. And so one of the things that we talk about on this podcast, especially for women, is I love talking to people with career change. So This is not just a career change for the people that you're affecting. It's your own personal career change. And I would just love to hear some more about that shift. How did this come about? You know, we'd love to hear more about it.
Okay, so I was actually approached by a gentleman named Ross Lohr, who's with Accelerate the Future Foundation. He is the one who is funding this in Massachusetts already with Farmingham State. And so he wanted to replicate this. He was friends with individuals from the Tepper Foundation. They heard what he was doing and they said, hey, we would like to do that in New Jersey. So he said, let me see if I can find a college and we'll help get you set up. And so he reached out and said, are you interested in this? And I said, I absolutely am interested in that. That would be amazing. So we have to give Ross credit for coming up with this idea and bringing this whole solution forward and finding a way to resource it, because great ideas are great, but without the resources, you can't move forward. And so he really deserves an enormous amount of credit in that regard. But it's different, right? This is very different, completely different academic calendar, a completely different, changing the structure of the curriculum, adding required courses and redeveloping courses that, existed but need to be different. So just the opportunity to have this blank slate and say, what does an ideal program look like? And how can you innovate? And what new technologies are available? And how do we build more practical skill development from the ground up in every course that you offer? It's been magnificent. I mean, if you're like, I was a part of a long-standing program, right? And so those roots grow deep and they're sort of fixed, right? And so I wanted to pull up roots and do like wild and crazy new things. And now I have this opportunity to do that, and it's been liberating.
Oh, that's amazing. So, Massachusetts, New Jersey, is this happening in other states as well, or are you two?
Well, we're going to be in all the states, right? Because we're online, so we don't have geographic barriers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
national.
National. So, what was that like for you, though? So he contacted you, and you said yes, and this is a huge shift. I mean, and now you're taking on all this other work.
Yep.
Are you still doing your your regular job at TCNJ?
My regular job was faculty, right? I was teaching. So I am still going to teach in this program, but I'm also going to be the department chair. So department chairs get a 3-course release per academic year. So I will teach, instead of teaching 3 and 3, I'll teach 3 total, spread out over the various terms that we have. And the rest of the time we'll be dealing with the administrative aspect of developing and running the program.
Yeah, like you're doing some serious marketing and getting the word out, but It sounds like it's absolutely invigorating. Like, what great news you have to share with people.
Giddy. I'm having so much fun. It just, the idea of being able to create opportunities that weren't there, to create solutions to really substantial high need areas is just amazing. It's amazing. Wow. And the people that I'm talking to who are so excited to finally have this opportunity is everything.
Well, we're going to have to do a part 2 so we can hear some more.
Yes, bring students on.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be, so it's a chain reaction, right? You're affecting so many lives, and ultimately you're affecting and bettering people's lives in the community. That's your ultimate what's happening, and how amazing for you to be able to play a part in that. I also wanted to talk to you for a minute because I think it's kind of fascinating some of the other work that you're doing at TCNJ. You got some awards or projects. Could you tell us some more about that?
Oh, sure. I've gotten a couple of different awards. Gosh, I should have remembered the names of them. I was an Advocacy Award, a Social Justice Award from NARASIS, which is the North Atlantic Regional Association of Counselor Educators. I'm getting one up in Patterson this October, which I'm really excited about for my advocacy work and the work towards decriminalization. It's exciting. I had a student just nominate me for the Addiction Educator of the Year Award. A series of students come together and do that, so we're still waiting to hear on that one. But those are wonderful and they feel great, but it's not why I do what I do.
I can tell that just talking to you. But it's nice to get that feedback, and it's also good to get the information out there. So, in the introduction, we talked a little bit about Narcan and about the decriminalization. So I'm just curious because I know that you've been doing a lot of work on the decriminalization aspect, not just you and some other folks. And you said that there's a recent article. Can you tell me more about that? Where can I get my hands on this fascinating research?
The Journal of Addiction and Offender Counseling, and it's open access, so anybody can do it. If you just, Google the Journal of Addiction and Offender Counseling and decriminalization of drugs, I'm sure it'll be the first thing that pops up. And it is myself and 9 other faculty at TCNJ, each from a different discipline, writing about the benefits of the decriminalization of drugs from each disciplinary standard so that you can get a comprehensive, there is like a good reason for it, no matter what your perspective, no matter what area of interest you have, economics, public health, sociology, political science, urban education, it's everywhere, criminal justice, counselor education, psychology, so just very robust and multidisciplinary perspective that just, I think, really sums it up nicely for everyone.
So you said that that's the Journal of Addiction and Offender Counseling.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to Google that when we sign off, and I'm going to read more about it because it's fascinating. And then just really quick, and I'm sure people could Google this as well, but what is the research showing? I think last week it was Narcan Day or something, like National Narcan Day. I don't know if that's true. I know I read about it and we see more about it. What's the research? How does the use and the ubiquitousness, if that's a word, of Narcan affect drug use in our communities?
It saves lives. It saves so many lives. And so we need to have as much of it as possible, everywhere possible. Everyone should have it. Everyone should have it in their car. Everyone should have it in their house. Everyone should have it in their purse. It should just be everywhere. And some communities do have it everywhere. They have vending machines, no-cost vending machines where you can go and just grab it. Some hotels are keeping it in the drawer on the nightstand right next to that Bible that's in there. Just making it accessible to people. In New Jersey, we had something called Naloxone 365 that the governor passed last year in partnership with a lot of really important organizations who are doing amazing advocacy work. We've got a robust harm reduction community in New Jersey that I just absolutely adore. They're a professional family. But this has got many, I wouldn't say most, but many pharmacies throughout the state of New Jersey. You can go online and see which ones. You can just walk in and say, Narcan, please. You don't have to give your name or anything, and they just hand it to you. It is accessible to everyone, and that's how it should be everywhere.
Well, so is it increasing drug use, though? Like if I'm making...
Absolutely not. There's zero research to say that it increases drug use. Absolutely does not increase drug use.
Yeah. And so where does somebody need to get training on how to use it, or is it?
So you can, I mean, yes, training is important. Calling 911, rescue breaths, putting them in a safety position if they are unconscious at the time. All of those things are very important. Additional training if you're using an injectable naloxone instead of a nasal naloxone. But online, you can go and do these trainings in a variety of different places. New Jersey Harm Reduction Coalition is one of them. They have an online training. Anyone can go to their website, do the online training, fill out a form, and they will mail it to you.
Well, that is some very good information, and
yes.
Glad to hear it, and glad to hear more about, the research on that. So what do you have coming up other than your brand new program, but what do you have coming up that you're looking forward to?
Well, so right now I'm really looking forward to launching this program in the fall. My heart and soul and every minute of my day is involved in getting ready for this launch, including building a really strong mentoring and academic advising component into this. My partner in putting this together is Lisa Cardello, and she's got a very strong academic advising and career counseling background. So we are working with people from the very, very first day and creating these small communities within the program where we are regularly meeting for academic advising as a small community, as a small mini family within the program. And you'll stay together as this cohort throughout. We have advanced students in the other program coming in, also serving as student mentors who are a little further along in the program. They'll come from our own program as we progress through it, but being able to offer that and having the National Counselor Exam mentoring built into that so that everybody is ready to pass that exam once they graduate, because there is no point in getting this master's if you're not going to pass that exam, because that exam is required for licensure and licensure is required to practice. So passing that exam is not optional. So all of our students are going to be 100% ready because we're going to start preparing for that exam on the very first day. So I'm just so excited how everything is different and incredibly student-centered. There's no other mission than being student-centered and getting these very specific individuals into the program and across the line. That is the mission and the priority. And to be able to hire people who share that and make sure that we're all sharing these core values and mission that we have for the program and just being a team and making that happen, the joy is just, I don't have words for it.
It sounds really amazing, and it sounds like you have your work cut out for you. But I guess when you're this passionate about it, maybe it doesn't feel like work, right?
It doesn't feel like work. I wrote a clinical manual. I had a 9-hour flight the other day, and I wrote probably 80% of the clinical manual for the program, and every paragraph was more exciting than the next. And it sounds odd, but it was just these opportunities. What opportunity is next? What else could we do? And it was just not having any barriers or limitations or anyone to say no to me, but just do what you think will be great, and to have that liberty to create something that has just such potential is just outstanding.
So where do people find more information about this program?
You can go to our website. If you go to TCNJ's website and look for online counselor education, we'll be there. And with the podcast, I'm sure you can post the link as well.
We definitely will. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. I have a flyer I can give you as well that people can have, but it's all available right there, and it's open to pretty much anyone in the country.
And people
but really not even. We just looked at our web. We can look at the demographics of where people are hitting our website, and we've got 25 countries going through this right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I'm wow, look at people all over the world looking at this.
Well, it sounds like you may need to increase your, the number of students that you can serve pretty quickly.
Well, we have a meeting tomorrow with the Department of Labor. We want to apply to have clinical mental health counseling approved as an apprenticeable degree so we can secure Department of Labor dollars to further support people with their tuition. When I said my goal is to make this free, I am not kidding. I am not going to stop until I get there. So we're going to keep finding ways.
That's absolutely amazing. So if you could look back, at your career, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Don't be afraid to take risks. I think as women, we're often too afraid to take risks. I think there's some research about how men get further ahead faster because they're more willing to. We get comfortable, things feel safe. Sometimes you've got to take a risk to do the thing you really want to do. It's not just going to be handed to you.
That's always good advice. I mean, it also, when you're comparing women and men and taking risk, men are also, according to the research of what I've read, they're also much better at asking for what they want, asking for more money, being more assertive. I think as women, we don't ask for it as much. So we should take risk and ask for more money.
Yep. Ask for what you want. Don't be afraid. Know your worth.
Yeah. So we like to ask everyone that appears on the Think Factory, what keeps them up at night? So that seems kind of personal, but, and I know you have a lot going on. Yeah, I know you have a lot going on now, but
it's professional stuff that keeps me up at night for sure. There is an enormous amount of work to do. What we're trying to accomplish and how we're trying to accomplish it is enormous. And right now there's 2 of us doing the work. And 2 of us is not enough people. So 2 of us are working as if we're 6 of us. And so I have this constant running list. So she and I are working. We have this great to-do list that we're knocking off. And so we're hiring now to bring in a 3rd faculty member for the fall, and that's going to be enormous relief. And then we're going to be hiring for a new cohort of faculty for the spring, a clinical coordinator to help people find their field placements. So once we have all of those people around, everything is going to be much smoother because we'll have many hands to make lighter work. But right now there's 2 of us building this, but Lisa is just as committed and excited and driven for this mission. So she and I are in constant communication and working very, very hard.
Well, that sounds great. So best of luck to you as you continue your planning and have all these open houses and you're getting ready to accept these fabulous candidates into your master's program as you're building what sounds like is just going to be a great opportunity for the folks in the program and the folks that they'll serve. So amazing. Thank you for all of that.
Thank you.
And thanks for being on our podcast. Be sure to check out the other Women's Roundtable podcasts so you can learn how women think big and grow their business. Thanks for being with us today.